Hey, and welcome to The Solid Verbal. Now would be a perfect time to consider subscribing. Yeah, that little subscribe button for year-round premium college football content. That's it. Here's the video. Enjoy. Subscribe. Ty, which freshman or newcomer are you most excited to watch this fall? Could be a freshman, a transfer, or someone who hasn't played much yet.
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple different ways you could go with this. This is Chris, I believe, from Patreon. There are so many different ways that you can answer this question. He says freshman, newcomer, transfer. Really could be anybody. Could be anybody. I'm interested in the Quinn Ewers thing. Quinn Ewers isn't under the radar by any stretch.
Always.
That's partially by design, but we just haven't seen any actual gameplay from him yet. And can he be the guy who elevates the Sark offense to a different level and finally gets Texas to what we would consider quote unquote back? Maybe. I don't know.
Sure.
Personally, I'm interested in Tyler Buchner, the real TB12, as you and I have started referring to him on our Slack chat. Buchner, we didn't see a whole lot of him. I think the bits and pieces we did, for me as a Notre Dame fan, were frustrating because I know he can do more than just run. This season, it's his team. This season, we'll find out what Buchner is made out of. And hopefully he can stay healthy, and hopefully we can see that true dual threat nature to his game. And what Tommy Rees, an unfettered Tommy Rees, can do with that remains to be seen. Other names that jump out to me, and I'm a little bit selfish with the answer to this question, Nick Singleton for Penn State, the heralded running back out of Reading, PA, the 5-star. Penn State's running game has been truly awful the last 2 seasons. And it is painful to watch that occur, if only because in recent memory, we've got the Saquon Barkley era. A lot of that was probably Saquon's individual brilliance overcoming some shortcomings on the offensive line. But it's hard to go from watching Saquon to watching what Penn State's been as a pure rushing team over the last couple seasons. Can Singleton do that? Can Singleton do the Saquon stuff? Probably not, but he's a pretty gifted runner. He can get north and south pretty quickly. And if any of what he did in high school translates to the college game, that could be a really exciting moment for Penn State football in that offense. We've already got Sean Clifford. This is going to be year 2 of Mike Yurcich. Let's see what they can do with a bona fide 5-star running back in Nick Singleton. Other names.
All right.
Other names.
I've got a lot. I mean, Caleb Williams at USC with the throwing to Mario Williams and Jordan Addison.
Sure.
No excuse. Look, USC's offensive line will probably be fine, but nothing crazy. It's not what Oklahoma's was for all those years. I'm curious about the freshman quarterbacks who are already going to be the most popular players on the team behind Sean Clifford and DJ Uiagalelei. So you got Drew Allar at Penn State, who physically looks the part, right? He's a bigger dude. I believe, right? Taller, bigger. And then Cade Klubnik at Clemson, because they're already like, if he's good, how quickly, if DJU isn't, will that conversation start to happen? So those are some. I'm curious about the eventual deep rotation of Texas A&M's defensive line. Walter Nolen and the guys like that who came in and are immediately going to be pretty dangerous as far as I can tell. DJ Durkin's defense as he replaces Mike Elko. There have been quarterback transfers all over. I mean, Dillon Gabriel at Oklahoma. It's a fun system that Jeff Lebby runs. The depth of receiver and offensive skill talent isn't there to me the way it has been these past few years, which is okay, but I think he's talented enough and what he can do in bombing it downfield, and has the experience with Jeff Lebby, which I think makes it interesting enough. I mean, those are headline-type programs and the headline-type players at those programs. Here's another name, just in terms of younger quarterbacks pushing entrenched starters. What about JJ McCarthy at Michigan?
The legend of JJ McCarthy.
There's a lot around the sport this year that's just low-key. Well, if this guy doesn't really improve, who's the probable starter, I don't know. There's somebody behind him who we can have a conversation about in week 5. There's a lot of that within the sport this year, very quietly. And some of it's already like shaken out with like Blake Shapen taking over for Bohannon, even though Bohannon was the entrenched starter, but Shapen looked good in his limited time at Baylor when Bohannon was hurt. There's a lot of that around the sport. Like, we got an email that was like, hey guys, just so you know, Garrett Nussmeier is going to be the guy at LSU. Great. That's a name I'm interested in all of a sudden. Has one of the probable, 3 to 5 best receivers in the game in Kayshon Boutte. Like, it's all over the place that we have these just very quiet quarterback, not battles, but somebody waiting in the wings that has people more intrigued. I mean, it's the old, is the backup better than the starter kind of thing. There's a lot of that this year.
Did you mention Evan Stewart for A&M, the wideout?
No. I mean, yeah, he's for sure a new name that, freshman receivers can be tricky.
I think he's the real deal, and I think if as good as advertised, he could help take that offense to another level. Just his ability to get downfield is really exciting. I'm also excited to see Bo Nix. I never thought I'd say that.
Don't say that. You don't mean that. I do mean it. And it's unfair. You are fronting.
I am not fronting right now. I am genuinely excited to see what that looks like, because it always felt like a weird transfer to me. I understand the connection to Kenny Dillingham, but to go from Auburn, where he's a legacy and everybody liked him, to Oregon, a place where nobody knows him, he's not familiar, and he's just following a coach that coached him up to some degree his freshman year.
Right.
I'm genuinely excited to see what that looks like, because I don't know what the Oregon offense looks like. And Bo Nix is like the poster child for it in whatever incarnation it takes on.
What about Spencer Rattler?
Sure. Yeah. Great answer.
I'm not as excited for that.
Me neither, but
I'm just, Rattler's stock is low right now, but certainly better than where they were at quarterback last year. It's in general, it's the theme of this year, and it will probably be a theme moving forward, is there are so many quarterbacks on the move. How quickly can they gel with coordinators, receivers, head coaches, new places, dealing with off-field drama? Because the more you move around, the further you are from your friends, your, whoever you're dating, your family, whatever. Like, there are more human changes to these quarterbacks moving around. The low-key name I'm interested in is Cameron Ward at Wazoo. Boy. Because that just doesn't work. The FCS to FBS, and Vernon Adams at least had the experience. He's like the lone success story. That to me is interesting.
I'm going to die on that hill. I'm all in on Cameron Ward, excuse me.
Wazoo is a very much boomer bust school.
I know.
As they make that borderline emotional decision to keep with Jake Dickert after, he's able to navigate them in the wake of everything that happened off the field with Nick Rolovich. If he's as special as he was at a lower level, if he shows the flashes of brilliance,
I spent 2 weeks in the later half of December watching every Cameron Ward video on YouTube. I'm all in.
Remember.
I'm all in. Come hell or high water, I'm all in.
Okay.